baby, and today I have my glittery jean jacket on. I'm feeling very fancy. So today we're gonna be talking about one of my favorite childhood movies, and that is The Wizard of Oz. Now that movie was filmed a long time ago. They did not have the technology and supplies that we do today when we film movies. So back then, a lot of things went wrong. There were a lot of accidents, there were a lot of bad things that happened to the cast. So we're gonna be going into the darker stuff about the production of Wizard of Oz that you may not have known about before. And if you love the movie as much as I do, it's gonna blow your mind. Now before we get started, I do have a very exciting announcement. We actually just came out with our new spring merch line. We have a bunch of cool magical stuff up there right now. So for the next few videos, I'm gonna be showing you different things in each video. So today, I'm gonna be showing you our new glass mermaids. And I think this is my favorite thing that I've ever had on my merch website. So here they are. They come in two different styles. I'll come closer so you can see them better. But they are completely glass. This one is a darker blue and it's just absolutely gorgeous. This one is the lighter blue and she's sitting in an upright position, but the detail on the scales is so nice. They're nice and heavy. They're literal glass. They're so pretty. So these are the two different styles that are available right now. And what's great is that they would sit really nicely on shelves in your room. They could sit on your desk. They could sit on your bedside table. They can go into like a display case if you wanted them to. But those are available right now on the merch website. I will link them down below in the description. We only have a limited amount available for our spring line. So if you want some, definitely go check them out. All right, let's get into talking about The Wizard of Oz. So as you guys know, this is a beloved family movie that so many people have seen, but there are so many hidden secrets that a lot of people don't know about. So let's first just get into the history of the movie. The Wonderful Wizard of Oz was actually first a children's book that was published in 1900. The story was enormously popular, so in 1939, they made it into a movie. The story goes that after a tornado hurls through Kansas, a teenager named Dorothy and her dog Toto are swept away from their farm and wake up in the colorful and vibrant land of Oz. In order to find their way back home, they must embark on a journey to the Emerald City, where the Wizard of Oz resides. On their way there, they become accompanied by a scarecrow who longs for a brain, a tin man who desires a heart, and a cowardly lion who seeks courage. All four are hopeful that the great Oz will be able to fulfill their wishes, but not far behind them is the Wicked Witch of the West, who is out for revenge on Dorothy after she accidentally killed her sister, the Wicked Witch of the East. So that is basically the synopsis of the movie, and honestly guys, if you have never seen this movie, what are you doing? Pause this video and go watch it. It is just such a magical movie, like everybody has to see it. Before I get into the creepier facts, I just want to talk about what happens if you type in The Wizard of Oz on Google. So obviously I had to do research for this video, so when I typed in Wizard of Oz, the strangest thing happened to me. Right away, it showed this cute gif of Dorothy's red slippers, and when you click on them, the whole screen starts spinning around and then turns into like a sepia color. So I guess it kind of puts you in Kansas, and then there's a tornado icon, and if you click on that, it spins you back to the color, so it takes you from like Kansas to the Wizard of Oz. Anyways, yeah, that's what happens. I was just so surprised when I was doing research, so there you go. All right, so let's get into the dark things that happened on the set of Wizard of Oz. The first thing we'll talk about is the snow scene. In one scene, Dorothy and the Cowardly Lion fall asleep in a poppy field where it begins to snow, but the snow that was used was actually asbestos, despite its known health hazards. So asbestos is actually a very toxic chemical that no one should be near or inhaling. They used to put it in old houses when they were being built because they didn't know the harm it caused back then. Like in today's day and age, you're not allowed to put asbestos into houses, so a lot of old houses have to have like an asbestos removal, and people will go in giant suits and face masks and like protective equipment to not like be touching this chemical. But back then in the movie, they were just pouring it all over the actors because they didn't know how harmful it was. So now whenever I see this scene in the movie, I'm like, oh my gosh, don't breathe it in, don't touch it. All right, let's talk about the colorful horse scene. The colored horse was actually a genius production team used Jell-O tint to achieve the horse's ever-changing coat. Now, they say this Jell-O was totally safe for animals, so there was no like harm to the horses. But I remember being so obsessed with this scene as a kid because I thought it was so cool that the horse was changing color. I didn't know it was Jell-O, but apparently these scenes had to be shot very quickly because the horses kept licking the Jell-O off of their fur. Alright, next let's talk about the lion's costume. The Cowardly Lion's costume was made of real lion skin, which made it incredibly hot for actor Burt Lahr to wear. It was also so heavy and it weighed nearly 100 pounds. What I really want to know is why did they have to use real lion fur and skin? Like, I feel like fake fur would have been sufficient enough for a kids movie. I feel like kids wouldn't really be able to tell the difference. So I can imagine how much this actor must have been sweating so hot in this suit. Alright, let's move on to the Toto accident, which I know sounds terrible. Trust me, when I read this, my heart broke. The dog playing Toto was accidentally stepped on during shooting and had to be replaced with a doggy double for 2 weeks while he healed. Now, don't worry, this dog fully recovered, was totally fine, and lived a long, happy life, so the dog didn't like perish, don't worry. But I think because movie sets are just so chaotic, it's really easy to accidentally step on such a small animal, but he was okay. I just want to say that. Okay, let's talk about the witch's very dangerous makeup. Margaret Hamilton, who played the Wicked Witch, wore copper-based green makeup that was dangerous to ingest, so she could only consume liquids during filming. Now, this makeup she wore actually caused her to have severe skin burns, which is terrible. Copper is not something you're supposed to have on your face, and I think back then they still didn't really know what would happen. In fact, there was this one scene where she was leaving Munchkin Land and they had to do this like small explosion where smoke and some fire went up in the air on the set. She was supposed to go through this trap door in the ground before the explosion happened, but the trap door wouldn't open, so she actually caught on fire in real life and had severe burns because of the copper-based ingredients. So yeah, the Wicked Witch in real life was not having a good time. There were also other actors that had severe makeup infections. The Tin Man's aluminum-based makeup caused an eye infection with actor Jack Haley, and the Scarecrow actor's face was permanently scarred from wearing prosthetics. So literally for years after he did this movie, he had little lines all over his face from his Scarecrow makeup. So basically all the makeup these characters were wearing would not be allowed in today's day. Like, they violated so many health risks and concerns, but they just didn't know back then. Next, let's talk about the Tin Man's tears. When the Tin Man cried, his tears were actually made from chocolate sauce. I can imagine that must have smelled so good and would be like so sticky all over the costume. I feel like I won't be able to watch the movie the same after knowing all of these weird facts. Okay, so the Over the Rainbow song. One of the beloved film's most iconic songs was almost cut from the movie. They thought the song Over the Rainbow was just too long and drawn out and almost didn't have it in the actual film, which is crazy because that's like the most known song like ever in movie history. Somewhere over the rainbow. Like, imagine if that never existed. That's crazy to think about. Achoo! Achoo! Oh my goodness. So a lot of people think this movie must be cursed just because so many bad things happen to the actors and crew while on set filming it. So let me know what you guys think of that. It's definitely a great movie, but I didn't know what happened behind the scenes. Also, I was able to find a Wizard of Oz paranormal game. I don't really know how legit this is, but apparently it has to do with Dorothy's red ruby slippers. They say that if you go into a closet after midnight and put on some red shoes, you have to hit your heels 3 times and say there's no place like home 3 times, and then apparently you go into an alternate dimension. Like, when you leave your closet, you're not in the real world, you're in like another world, kind of like Wizard of Oz, and you can't come home until you go back in your closet, hit your heels 3 times, and say it again. So because I was able to find that game, even though I'm not too sure how legit it is, I think I'll still probably play it over on my vlog channel. So if you guys want to see that, definitely go over there and subscribe and wait for that video to come out. It should only be a couple days because you know me, I'm so curious. I love to do stuff like this. But yeah, anyways guys, I'm gonna get going. If I missed any really cool facts, definitely comment them down below. But I hope you have an awesome rest of your day and I will see you in my next video. Bye!